What's up, everybody? Damon here at San Diego Comic-Con 2023 with today's biggest gaming news. We've got a lot to get through, so let's dive straight in. Square Enix responds to concerns about Final Fantasy 16 sales, the FTC has put a halt to its Xbox Activision trial, and Blizzard has defended Diablo 4's minuscule, uber-unique drop rates. This is your Daily Fix. Final Fantasy 16 was released just last month, and fans of the long-running RPG-turned-action RPG series have been concerned that it just isn't selling well. Well, don't worry, it's apparently doing just fine. Square Enix has told IGN that Final Fantasy 16 sales are extremely strong, and that it's all down to how many people have a PS5. Concerns began earlier this week when Bloomberg revealed that Final Fantasy 16 sales had dropped dramatically in the second week after the game's launch. The PS5 exclusive sold 3 million copies in its launch week, a figure that falls short of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, which sold 3.5 million copies in its first 3 days. Bloomberg added that sales of Final Fantasy 16 had lagged since launch, and that Square Enix was grappling with weak momentum on its flagship franchise. However, Square Enix says that it's only because there are a smaller number of players with PS5s compared to how many people had PS4s when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out. They told IGN that, quote, the attach rate of Final Fantasy 16 is considerably high given the PS5 install base. They added, Square Enix considers the initial sales results of Final Fantasy 16 to be extremely strong, and we will continue to carry out a wide range of initiatives to encourage even more people to play the game. And let's not forget, Sony has presumably compensated Square Enix somehow for PS5 exclusivity, so Square might be able to afford to be patient with Final Fantasy 16's sales. Moving on, the FTC has hit the brakes on its Xbox Activision Blizzard merger trial, and that could mean the $69 billion merger will finally get the go-ahead. In a filing submitted on July 18th, Xbox submitted a motion to withdraw the proceeding, to which the FTC responded with no objection. It doesn't sound like much, but it's a pretty huge sign that the FTC trial has ground to a halt, and it could spell the end of its opposition to the historic merger. This follows the recent verdict denying the FTC's request to pause the deal, which was already a significant blow to their campaign. So what happens next? Well, it's entirely possible that the FTC will reach a settlement with Microsoft or could file the retrial. However, experts agree that it's increasingly unlikely that the FTC will win the case. Members of Congress have even publicly asked the FTC to back down from its challenge of the merger. The FTC originally sued Microsoft in an attempt to block its buyout of Activision Blizzard as an antitrust measure. Following a week-long trial, the FTC was soundly defeated, with the courts denying their proposal to delay the deal. Whatever happens next, it looks as though Microsoft's buyout of Activision Blizzard is becoming more and more likely by the day. And finally, Diablo 4 players have been left feeling shortchanged with the minuscule drop rate of the game's uber uniques. However, Blizzard isn't budging. Game director Joseph Pipora told IGN, the moment that these things actually drop, we want that to be a fall out of your chair moment. We want that to be a really critically important thing. The collection of extremely rare items includes the game-breaking two-handed sword, the Grandfather, which increases critical strike damage by up to 100%, as well as the Doombringer, a one-handed sword with devastating area of effect. Yes, they are ridiculously overpowered. But Blizzard maintains that only a lucky few should ever get their hands on them. There were initially just 6 uber-uniques in Diablo 4's loot pool, but the addition of the Ahavarian Spear of Lycander and its Season 1 pre-patch has brought the total up to 7. Whether or not you ever encounter one of them will depend on how lucky you are, but don't worry, they were never meant to be essential to your character builds. Blizzard told us, we don't want these items to fall into that space. We want them to be these really extraordinary, massive bonuses on top of basically anyone's build that can occur on occasion. When you get them, the character is just going to feel overpowered. They're going to feel very, very strong. That is how they're balanced. Better start grinding those nightmare dungeons. And that's it for today's Daily Fix. Did you pick up Final Fantasy 16 on PS5? Are you still trying to get one of those elusive uber uniques? Let us know. Don't forget to follow IGN on all your socials. I'm Damon Hatfield, reporting from Comic-Con, and for all your gaming news, stay tuned to IGN.